working?
Gotta go on the other side.
This is going to be a problem. All right. So anyway, tonight we're talking about how to sell your stuff online. Mm-hmm. We've had some really good success with this. I took 1 month as an experiment I think this is going to happen every single time. I took 1 month as an experiment to sell as much stuff from around the house as I possibly could. And I ended up making over $2,100 just selling off stuff that we didn't need anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, we ended up making over $2,100 just by selling stuff from around the house. And we're going to talk through that process and how to do this because it's a whole lot easier than most people think. And I know that now is the time when a lot of people could use extra cash. And I forgot to pull that article where there was a study done that showed that I believe it's $5,000. The average American household has over $5,000 worth of stuff that can be sold,
which is
online.
Crazy, because most people don't think they have anything, right?
Yeah, most people don't think they have anything, and they actually do have plenty of stuff of value. But the problem is that a lot of people think that they'll list things to sell, and they don't sell because they're things that aren't of value, and then things that actually have value they overlook. So we're going to help you with that a little bit tonight. I have a free PDF with 128 things that are very likely to sell that you can download, and so that's going to help you. And then we're going to talk over some kind of strategies on how to do this as well. So welcome to everyone who has joined us on both YouTube and on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Glad to have you for this edition of, I just want to call it like Tiger King something, but
why? That's already been done.
I know. We just finished Tiger King last night.
We don't really want to be associated with those people.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, all right. So first thing, we're going to go over some of the basics of all this. And then I'm going to share a list of things, the $2,100 of stuff that we sold. I'm going to give you a list of every single thing it was, so maybe it'll give you some ideas. And then I'm also going to hop on a screen share in which we'll get to that in a little bit, and I'll actually show you exactly how to tell whether something's going to sell and how much it very well might sell for. Sorry, blah, 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 blah.
But that's only going to be on YouTube. So
yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I think we can tell them now. We're going to talk through it on Instagram.
We'll try to explain as many details as we can.
If you want to, you can hop on YouTube. We've got a live going on there, and you can either watch it later or watch it now.
Yeah. All right. So the first question to answer here is, where do you sell all your stuff? And I did an experiment with this. I picked 5 different places, and I built a spreadsheet, super nerdy. And I had an app called Let Go. I had an app called Offer Up. I had an app called, I forgot what the other one was, another big app that a lot of people sell stuff at. I had Craigslist, and I had eBay, and I had all these places. And I listed items at all of them. And I tracked how many responses I got. I tracked how many I ended up selling. And anyway, and so long story short, and this was an experiment I did a couple years ago, and it ended up being that Let Go, an app called Let Go, was the one that sold the most. Now, so that's what I was using for a while. But then, and I had been hearing about Facebook Marketplace over and over again, but I had never tried it. And so then I had another round of things that I sold, probably like 6 or 7 things from around the house. And I went to Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, I'll just try it and see what happens. And all of them sold like literally within a few hours. Like I was blown away. It was so much faster than any place I'd ever sold.
And they actually came and picked it up?
Yeah. I think it was a better, more reliable group of people. And on top of that, like you actually know, you have more information about the person because they have a Facebook profile and you can actually check them out a little bit, which is so much more comforting than Craigslist.
They're catfishing you.
It's possible, but that's probably not likely for a $100 thing, you know?
Yeah.
Sure. And so anyway, I just found it to be, that's my new favorite place. And I really, really like that. And I've just had so much great success there, a whole lot better than any of the other places. At this point, like I just don't recommend Craigslist for selling stuff. And you can, like I've sold a whole bunch of stuff there. We sold our last car there. But there's just so many scams that you just have to be like really guarded. And
was it on Craigslist that you like sold something to someone and it was like you guys were kind of like, I'll give you the money and you switch it back, and like we'll switch at the same time?
It
was like super awkward.
It was awkward. I don't remember why. But anyway, there's so much in the way of scams and fraudulent activity taking place on Craigslist, and they don't do a good job of policing it. And so I just don't recommend it very often. But even still, like Facebook Marketplace is my new favorite place because I think it's the safest place in terms of minimizing scams, and it just stuff goes fast there, and you can tag it well. They do a good job of getting the right things in front of people. Like so, I just really like it. Now breaking that out. So now, anytime I sell anything right now, it's two places. It's either Facebook Marketplace or it's eBay. So the way I divide this is basically if it's furniture, if it's heavy, anything more than, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 pounds, and I don't want to ship it, it goes to Facebook Marketplace. If it's anything lighter than that I can ship for a reasonable amount, $10, $15 or something like that, it goes to eBay. And the reason is that eBay is a worldwide market. So you literally can sell to the entire world. And that is a huge advantage because you have buyers all over the entire world who might be buying your item. And so, and another benefit of eBay is even if somebody in China decides to buy your old cell phone, you don't need to ship it to China. Like they have options within eBay, and this is all super simple to do. They have options in eBay where you can ship your phone to, in our case, we ship it to Kentucky, and then Kentucky, they take care of it shipping to China. So I don't have to do any international shipping or anything like that, but you still can sell to the entire world. So as a result, you have so many more buyers and it drives your price up higher and higher and higher. So in general, for any item that is less than, I don't know, 5 or 10 pounds or something and isn't super big, you're going to get the best price on eBay because it's the biggest market of buyers. So Facebook, we're going locally, so it's a much smaller pond. But if I'm selling a desk, I don't want to ship a desk, on eBay or something like that. So that's why it makes sense. That's how I draw the line, and that has worked really well for me. Now, we are going to answer a whole bunch of questions at the end. We're going to kind of dive into this for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll answer some questions at the end about all this stuff. So let's talk about some of the things that we've sold, and then we'll get into some more details. So real quick. If you want this PDF, and this is items that have sold it's a PDF, 128 things that are likely to sell on eBay. Now, there's no guarantee that each one of these, but it's a really great starting point that you can go down and look at all these things. Like, oh, I got some of that. I got some of that. And these are things that, assuming it's in decent condition, assuming it might be what the market wants, like these are good starting places to go.
Well, and should we mention real quick also like how Brian paid off all that debt?
Yeah, so I did an interview. So if you want, this is over on YouTube. You can search for this. A friend of mine paid off $80,000 of debt selling stuff on eBay on the weekends. And so I have an interview with him where he talks about how his process and what he did to do that. But $80,000 of debt
that's crazy.
On Saturdays.
So this was
selling
not
junk
stuff
on eBay.
in his house already.
Yeah, he would go to thrift stores and garage sales, buy stuff, and then sell it for 10 times more on eBay or whatever because he knew what to look for.
Yeah.
Anyway. All that, but we go into all that in this interview, and you can check that out on YouTube if you want. So our channel is just SeedTime over there, and if you're on YouTube, you already know that. Blah blah. All right, so get this PDF, seedtime.com/eBay, seedtime.com/eBay, and you can get this little PDF from us, 128 things of the kind of easiest things to sell on eBay. Now, I'm going to go over the $2,100 of things that I sold. So we sold a studio lighting kit. And so this is like lighting for videos or something like that. It was an old one that I had. It was $90. We sold that for. We sold a high chair for a baby for $80. We sold an entertainment center TV stand for $50. I had an old guitar speaker cabinet we sold for $60. It was a real cheap brand. That's why it was only $60. I had a stereo we sold for $100. I had an old vintage desk that we sold for $100. We had a chimenea sold for $30. We had a fiberglass ladder, just an 8-foot ladder, sold that for $70. A little mini fridge sold for $90. A mountain bike we sold for $90. I'll keep going. So that was all stuff that we sold on Craigslist at the time. I would put that on Facebook Marketplace now. And then these are all the things we sold on eBay. So I had an old cell phone we sold for $100. A guitar pedal, effects pedal, sold for $137. Some DVD set, I don't remember which one, sold for $15. I had a Fitbit, we sold for $80.
I wonder if you can still sell a DVD set.
Oh yeah,
When
absolutely,
was that?
absolutely. I mean, like Lord of the Rings trilogy or something like. I'm sure stuff like that.
We haven't had a DVD player in I don't know how long.
I sold one of my guitars for $317. I had a leather briefcase, which was actually really nice.
Yeah.
I sold for $277. I had some bookshelf speakers sold for $55. We're almost done here. Hang with me. I had a subwoofer I sold for $50. I had some guitar pickups I sold for $60. Some other guitar pickups were $200. Those were nice ones.
Whoa.
I had these leather moccasins
Oh.
sold for $35. And that's the gist of it. And so all that junk I sold over 1 month, and then there was like $50 of books that I won't get into that now, but there's another video on eBay or on YouTube of how we sold books. So that was like 60 or 70 bucks. But anyway, that's what we sold. All right, but there's a whole bunch more ideas in this PDF, seedtime.com/eBay, and you can get that PDF. And so that'll give you more ideas.
April's asking which one of us plays guitar. It's Bob.
I play guitar. I mean, I used to play guitar. I haven't played guitar in...
There's a guitar right there, actually.
There's a guitar right there. That's my Telly. I actually built that from parts that I bought on eBay. So I bought a neck. I bought that body right here. And I bought the pickups. And I built that guitar, just assembled it kind of as a Frankenstein.
Frankentar?
I was going to say like, I don't know. Anyway. So I found this other list of the easiest things to sell on eBay. So, and just so you know, we're going to get to some of the details of this in a minute, but hang with me. So these are some of the easiest things to sell on eBay. So cell phones and accessories. And this is what I always recommend to people. If you have an old cell phone, especially if it's an iPhone, this is the easiest place to start. Like, because pretty much if it's an Apple product, it doesn't matter if it works or not, if it's broken or not. It's all but guaranteed to sell on eBay. Like, if it has an Apple logo on it, it'll sell. And if it's a cell phone that's less than, 3 or 4 years old, even if it's not an Apple phone, it's probably going to sell. So that is just a great place to start. Coins and paper money. We've actually bought some of this and bought some old coins on eBay. So this definitely sells. Tickets and experiences. You might not have known you can do this, but you can sell tickets on there. Cameras. These could be old, new, lenses, like all camera equipment is going to do really well. Computers, tablets, musical instruments, and gear. Like this is another one that's just especially like, because the thing is, it's like guitar heads, like they like the older it is, the better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the older your Strat is, the more desirable it is. And like if you have like a guitar effects pedal from whatever, 1970 or 60, like that's going to be in high demand. And even some of the stuff that is moderately old, but not like super vintage, like in general, it just sells. So gift cards, if you have a gift card to Gap and you never shop at Gap, like you can sell this on eBay. Yeah. Sporting goods, video games, consoles, and stuff like that. These are some of the easiest things to sell on eBay. So hopefully this has given you some ideas. But here is what's cool about this. eBay actually, and I'm going to try, we'll flip over to screen share in a second here. eBay actually tells us the information of pretty much whether or not something will sell and how much it's likely to sell for. Like they give you this information for free. So this is really, really cool.
That's amazing.
And in general, if you're listing any kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but a lot of items that I sell on eBay, when I start listing it, and I almost sell everything just my phone. I download the app. It's super easy to use. You can take the pictures right from there. A lot of times you don't even have to enter really much information at all about the product because you take a couple pictures of, I wouldn't sell this thing, but I just take a couple pictures of this. I type in the name of it, and sometimes you don't even need to do that. You can just select what it is, So if it was this microphone right here, pull this up. So this is a Shure SM7B, so this would absolutely sell because it's musical equipment. And if I type this in there, Shure SM7B, like it'll autofill all the information for me, and it'll tell me exactly how much this typically sells for. And so it shows me where to set my starting price.
I like that.
And just go from there. And it's just really, really simple. Like you're going to be amazed at how simple it is. But let's go. So now I think I'm going to flip over to screen share. So I'm going to try to talk through this for those of you on Instagram who don't want to come over to eBay or over to YouTube. But for everybody on YouTube, we're going to just I'm going to share my screen and kind of check this out.
Watch us.
But I will try to talk through as much of it as I possibly can. All right. Cancel there. All right. So there is my screen. All right. So if you come over to eBay, and just go to eBay. You can do this on the mobile phone or on desktop. And you go to the search box and you just type in anything. So you can just type in whatever, iPhone 8 or something, or iPhone, whatever you want to do. And just type that in and you can just search for it. And then after you search, there should be a little box next to the search box that says advanced. And if you click on advanced, what you can do here is you can search. You can actually select a box that says sold listings. And what this will do is tell you exactly what they sold and how much they sold for. So you can see what iPhone 8s sell for. And so just do that. And then what I also like to do sometimes is click on the condition, click used. If mine is used, I'd like to just be the same condition just so that I'm not comparing new and used together. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to click search. And so now what I'm going to see is all of these Apple iPhone 8s, and I'm going to see what prices they went for. So here's one that's 64 gigabytes, went for $149. Here's one that's also 64 gigabytes, went for $169. This one is an iPhone
32.
SE, but that's not what we're looking at. I should have put iPhone 8 in quotes so that I'm not getting other things here. But sometimes you'll see a broken one here. So this is a broken one. This is for parts only. It sold for $40. Here's another one that's like, all these have different details of what's going on. So if one's broken, that's a whole lot different than one that's actually working. But you're seeing prices all over the map. And what you'll see is you can start looking at all these prices and this will give you like a ballpark of where you might end up selling this thing. So now I'm going to go back to that search box again and change one other thing. So this is telling us what it's likely to sell for. But the question a lot of people have is it actually going to sell? And so what you can do, come back over to this advanced search section and click on completed listings instead of sold listings. And now what you'll see is all of the people who listed an iPhone 8, and you'll see whether or not it sold. Because this is a different thing. Because just because somebody was able to sell it for $168, there could have been 20 other people who listed and didn't sell it at all. And so that's why it's important to see this, because this is going to tell us what percentage actually sold. Because if you're trying to sell an item, maybe it is this mug, and there's 100 of them listed out there on eBay, and only one of them has sold in the last month, and 99 of them are just sitting there. It's probably not worth your time trying to sell it. But if 50% or 70% of the people who list this mug, if it actually sells, then that's a really good sign. Yeah. So once you do the search for completed listings, what you're going to see is you're going to see the items that are green. If they have a green $sign, that means they actually sold for that amount. If it's black, that means it did not sell. So if the dollar amount is still black, that means that one did not sell. So what I'm seeing here is 2 that sold, 1 that didn't, 1 that sold, 1 that didn't, and 1 that sold, 1 that sold, 1 that sold. And the common thread that I'm seeing here are that the broken ones where people did a buy it now, where they set a price up here, those are the ones that didn't sell. But the people who did an auction, those are the ones that actually sold. Absolutely. So this is just going to give you good information about the products that you have, whether or not they're actually going to sell.
Okay, quick question.
Fire away.
I saw someone asked it. I think it was Katie. Hi, Katie. Does eBay take a percentage?
Yes, and it's different for every item. The easiest thing is just to plan on it being 10% of whatever your final selling fee is. Like, you shouldn't, in general, unless you're doing a whole lot of volume and some other stuff in weird markets, like, you shouldn't have to pay any listing fees. It should be completely free until you actually sell the item. And then just assume they're going to take 10%. If you assume that, you're going to be good. Sometimes it'll be less, but in general, that's pretty much what it'll be. Okay. Facebook Marketplace, on the other hand, for the kind of bigger purchase or bigger things you're going to be selling, there's no fee involved with that.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Some things Facebook is doing that we actually like.
So,
I guess besides Instagram.
To keep this from turning into a really long video, I'm not going to go through the step-by-step process of, and because I already did this, I'm not going to go through a step-by-step process of actually selling this, but I created a separate video where I literally did that, where I sold one of my iPhones and I walked through the exact process. You saw my screen the whole time. So this is on YouTube. If you search for SeedTime in eBay on YouTube, it should be the top result. It's how to sell on eBay step-by-step for beginners or something like that. So check out that video if you want to know exactly, if you need more hand holding on how to actually sell something on eBay. But both of these platforms are really simple. It's really intuitive. If you haven't done it, you'll be surprised how easy it is. And yeah, and it's in terms of using Facebook Marketplace in trying to determine whether or not something's going to sell, it's a little bit more tricky. I haven't found any or as good of tricks as this eBay one to kind of see if something's going to sell. But you can just look at what else is out there, see what other people are pricing things for, and that'll give you at least a good ballpark of where to price it, and that's a good starting point as well. So with that, I'm going to turn off the screen share here, and let's do some questions. If you have any questions about any of this.
Question time.
All right, I'm going to go up through here. There's a bunch up here.
Flip through this one.
Okay.
Flip through
Instagram. All right.
Oops.
Okay. Matt says, I've been selling on eBay. eBay takes 10% and PayPal takes around 3%. Is there a better platform to use? Yeah, there are other platforms out there. I haven't found anything I like as much for small stuff. But again, you're welcome to ship or sell small stuff on Facebook Marketplace. It's just that you don't have as big of a market. But surely a lot of the things that are going to sell on eBay are actually going to sell on Facebook as well. And like I said, you're not going to pay any fees there. So that's something you could do. But I think that the trade-off of paying the 10 or 13% with eBay and PayPal is worth, the extra amount of buyers that you get to drive the price up. But, it probably depends on what the item is you're selling. All right, nice. That's a great bonus for cleaning out some unused stuff. Yes. Yeah. So really funny thing. In terms
you need to read the question.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I just wanted.
I'm like, they can't see what you can see.
I know. So yeah, years ago, this is really funny. There have been a few things I've sold at a profit on eBay, and this one's really kind of funny. But years ago, I bought some fake leather pants at Old Navy. And I don't know if it should
was
come
like
as
a costume.
I don't
he
know
was
if it
supposed
should.
to dress up like Ross from Friends. And
Yeah, if you remember that scene.
He got leather pants, and
Yeah.
it was really funny.
Well, they were fake leather.
Leather.
I would not spend the money on leather pants. But anyway. So I bought these leather pants, and I think I wore them one time, and that was it. And they sat in my closet for a couple of years. And I think I paid like $3 on the clearance rack at Old Navy for them or something.
Oh
And normally, like Old Navy clothes, because like when you're selling clothing, you want it to be brand name stuff, like higher in demand stuff. Old Navy clothes like typically isn't gonna. It's cheap enough that it's just not gonna be worth selling on eBay. But this illustrates an exception to that rule because
leather pants.
People are searching for leather pants or fake leather pants. That it doesn't matter what brand it is. This is like a unique object, if that makes sense. So just like somebody might be searching for a Lakers jersey, it doesn't matter what the brand is, if that makes any sense. So in this case, I ended up selling these leather pants for $20 or $30, and I bought them for $3. And I'm like,
I'd like to know who ended up with those pants.
I know. That'd be funny if we could track them down after all these years. All right. I had a strange one a couple years ago. I had a 15-year-old parallel port laser printer. I was going to recycle, but for whatever reason, they were selling for $150 on eBay. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like some of the stuff you're like, no way anyone wants this. But, man, and some of these like young millennials right now, man, they're like, oh, yeah, I want a CRT monitor, whatever else. I want a VCR.
They just want the experience, I guess.
Well, it wouldn't be ironic. I don't know. So anyway, stuff like that,
it
very well might sell. But that's why just doing a little bit of research on eBay, throwing it in there, see what stuff's going for, you might be really surprised.
What else?
All right. All right. So a couple of people are mentioning Mercari, Mercari. I haven't used that platform at all. So apparently this is a selling platform. Says they only take 10% and doesn't charge for collecting the money. Okay. I haven't used it, so I'm not real familiar. Okay, I'm trying to see any other questions in here. Can you repeat the eBay link? Yeah, SeedTime.com / I'll type it in the comments here. .com / eBay. And if you just go there, I didn't put the HTTP. Oh, well. PS. That's where you can get that PDF. Just throw in your email. You can join our email list. You can unsubscribe at any time if you don't want to be on it, but we would love to have you on our email list. And that, like I said, that is going to have 128 items that are likely to sell on eBay. So that's kind of a good starting place. Okay. All right. I have an antique wooden horse on a tricycle. Where is the best place to get a value? So it depends on how much of an antique this is. Like if this is an antique like made 200 years ago type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think so if it's on a tricycle. But anyway, that would probably be like Antiques Roadshow type stuff, which I know nothing about. But it's something that if you think it has some value, I would just start digging around on eBay and see. Like try to find out who made it, see if you can get the name of the company or the person who made it, and just do some searching and see what you find. That's probably where I would start.
Do you get people who are picky and return the sold item?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. On eBay, I have never had anyone... So I've sold, I would guess maybe 100, 150 things on eBay, I'm guessing over the years. I've never had anyone return anything other than one thing I shipped and it broke in the mail. And he didn't return it. He just messaged me and said it broke and I just refunded him. And I just didn't package it well enough. You know, I forgot what it was. I don't remember what it was, but it broke. So that's something that when you are shipping things, it's like, you want to wrap it up. It's tricky because if you look at how Amazon like packages things, it's kind of surprising how durable a lot of things are given, like they throw like one of those little bubble banana things in there and it's just jerking all around this box and like it doesn't break. And it's just kind of, it's surprising to me how often things don't break in Amazon boxes. And I know they do sometimes, but anyway, my point is that it's a balance of making sure it's packed well enough that it doesn't break. But anyway.
All right. Experience selling baseball cards.
No.
Don't you have baseball cards?
No, I don't. I got rid of all my baseball cards, but I know I used to have a friend who made a really, really good part-time living, if not full-time living, just selling baseball cards on eBay. And that's all he did.
Wow.
All right. Can you explain reasons to shop on eBay versus Amazon? I do sometimes. It's generally easier. Man, this is changing a little bit. Generally, a little bit easier to buy on Amazon or to return on Amazon than it is on eBay because eBay, every single seller might have different return policies, and some of the sellers, there's more sellers from China on eBay, and so I don't know. I buy some things on eBay. Like if it's used, I'll buy it on eBay, of course. But eBay has a lot of new stuff too. So sometimes things are cheaper new on eBay than they are on Amazon, and occasionally I'll do that. But yeah. All right, let's see if there's anything else up here real quick.
Yeah, and I think that's all on Instagram. You guys have any questions? Instagram?
Awesome. Well, yeah, how are you guys doing? How's everybody doing tonight? How are you out there? So I had a really busy day. I just as an FYI, I might have told you about this, but I'm writing a book right now, writing a book about giving, and I had 2 phone calls today with 2 different publishers, which was really exciting. So I got on the phone with my agent and these 2 different publishing companies that we're kind of interviewing, and they're interviewing us, like trying to see if we're a good fit for the book. And so that was really fun. And so we're getting more excited about getting a book deal and having this whole thing. Yeah, it's starting to become a little bit more real. And it's been a book I've been working on for a long time. And so it's kind of exciting to be doing all that.
Yeah.
All right. Couple other questions.
Are you two a couple? Yes, we are married.
We are super couple.
Super married.
Couple as it gets. Right? Right?
We will be married 15 years this June.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to Lexington on on
our anniversary
trip.
I don't know if that's going to
happen. What do you guys think?
It's the middle of June. What do you think?
It's going to happen? I don't know about that. June 18th.
Yeah. All right.
Do you disagree about anything? Are you joking?
Well, what we did the other day, we had we were in the middle of a fight, and we decided we actually recorded it because it was a fight in the middle of us recording a video.
We didn't record it on purpose. We recorded it just because we were recording a video and we got into a fight during the video.
Well, yeah, and so then we went on Instagram stories and we were going to share it, and it didn't upload. So maybe that was God's way of protecting us. Didn't you say it didn't go to stories?
Oh, that's right. It didn't. We told everybody that we
So yeah, we recorded a story about the whole thing. But anyway.
But it's like the first time that we were able to go back and hear what the other person said and hear who was mean and who was nice.
I was very nice.
It was neither of us, really.
Really? Oh, man. All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. This person says, I've had only a few sales on eBay. I keep items listed on auto renewal. Should I promote with paying for it to be listed at the top like an ad? I wouldn't promote it. I don't think you need to. I think if it's not selling, I think it's just an item that's not going to sell. It's possible that you're not listing with the best keywords. You know, like whenever you're listing anything on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, you have to think like a buyer. Like, what is somebody going to go in there and type in? Like when they're looking for whatever your thing is, you know? So this, like, what is somebody going to type in when they get this? You know, if it's this, what are they going to type in? Mm-hmm. If it's this thing, what are they going to type? You probably don't know what this is. This is really cool, actually. This is my timer, my desk timer. So each one of these numbers, all you do is you turn it to that side, lift it up, and then it starts a timer automatically. So it's like manual. It's kind of weird, but I really like it. Anyway, a couple more questions here. I got so distracted. Okay, should I promote it with paying for it to be listed at the top? So yeah, I don't think you should promote it. I think it's just an issue of it not being an item that's going to sell or not likely to sell. Doing the auto renewal, I think, is good. There's no reason not to do that. And what that is, for somebody who doesn't know, you can list it for a week, and if it doesn't sell, they just relist it for you and just keep turning it on. So it just always stays out there. And so that's no reason not to do that. And I think one of the things is it's possible you're just listing things that aren't in high demand. And so I would check out the PDF and just kind of go from there. And just maybe do some research if you want to spend a little time on the front end. Okay, I sent a Michael Jordan card back to my son. We kept it in a case. Hopefully it's worth something. I don't know. I mean, I used to collect baseball cards back in the day. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago. And I mean, rookie cards were always the best, the most valuable ones. I mean, generally speaking. And then obviously in really good shape. Why are you laughing?
I'm just reading these comments on Instagram.
Great.
They're asking us to argue about something.
Man.
We're not going to do that. We're not.
I mean, it's kind of weird. All right. I mean, I would think a Michael Jordan card would be something.
Yeah.
I would just start doing some, because you should be able to find that exact card that you have on eBay and look at the completed listings and you can see what that card is sold for. That's going to be really good. All right. Margaret asks, Let Go, ? Facebook Marketplace. So I mentioned Let Go at the very beginning of this thing. And Let Go was good for me, but I've just found Marketplace to definitely outperform Let Go in my case with the stuff that we've sold there.
Yeah.
It's just done
Has
really,
that
really
only
well.
been here or has that been in St. Louis also?
I think I used it here. We're in Nashville, and this was the first time I used it was here.
Okay.
I didn't use it in St. Louis when we lived there.
I think your sister uses it though. And she really likes it.
She's the one who told me about it, and she was just selling stuff like crazy. I have bronchitis, but I got a negative test for COVID.
Awesome.
I'm on antibiotics, so I should be back to work soon. I'm a home care nurse.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Well,
we're glad you
doing
don't
better.
have COVID. Yeah. My gosh.
Is that coffee drink for sale? Because I'm mad thirsty.
This one? It's water. You do need
Where did your milkshake go?
In my belly.
Oh boy, this is funny. Did anyone get sprayed with Lysol during the fight? That was so funny in the video. So for anybody who's curious, that is a video we did. It should be, I think it's on Instagram and on YouTube.
Yeah.
About
it's on our IGTV, I think.
Coronavirus and your money and 5 things you need to do now or something like that. And so watch the video if you want to catch that reference.
It wasn't actually Lysol. It was like a natural.
A natural Lysol.
But at the end, if you watch all the way to the video, we
watch the end of that,
we did kind of fight about it because Bob's like, I'm gonna spray you with this, and I was mad
She was
because
not
I had
excited
just
about it.
washed my hair. I'm like, I'm gonna smell like this stuff.
The sacrifices to get a laugh. I thought it was really funny though. Reasons to sell on eBay versus Amazon. So I might have answered the wrong question before, but yeah, so you can sell on Amazon. I have found, and this might be different. I haven't sold stuff on Amazon for a long time. I used to list some used things on Amazon, but I don't know. I just feel like in general, at least back, and this is probably going 10 years ago, so this isn't real relevant information anymore. So if anybody has information, like share it in the comments.
Yeah.
Like if you've compared the two side by side, like let us know. But I always found eBay just to be a little bit easier, a little bit simpler. And that's why I always went there. Who usually apologizes first? So I think Linda does more. And this makes it look bad.
I really hate conflict. Like well,
Okay.
I don't
Who
like being
starts
stuck
more
in it.
fights? Who starts more fights?
I mean, I feel like you just pointed at me like you think I do.
No.
You were like, who
All
starts
right,
more fights?
should we get in a fight for him? No,
I apologize
I'm admitting that.
usually
I think
first
she
because
is better at that.
I am like, I hate being in that state. Like, it just ruins my whole like thought process. It's
And
like all I can think about.
I am more black
get
and
over it.
white. I don't know. This sounds terrible. I'm more like Dwight Schrute. Let's just say that. And what? You don't
You are
agree?
a lot like Dwight Schrute, actually.
Oh boy. All right. What's the best way to sell an ebook?
The first time we watched The Office, we were like, this guy's crazy. And then we watched it again a couple years later, and we were like, yeah, this actually, Bob really loves this. Like, thinks a lot of the same things.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what things I have in common with Dwight. Anyway, what's the best way to sell an ebook? So I don't know if you're talking about a new ebook, Amy, or a used one. I don't even know how you can sell a used ebook. I mean, I guess it's possible somebody
Maybe
might buy
she's
one.
an author.
Yeah,
Wants
if you're
to know how
an
you
author,
sell your book, your ebook.
Yeah.
That's what I would guess.
Yeah, I ebooks are tough to sell. Yeah, I just haven't sold many of them. We've tried. It's just hard.
Who's that one guy that we met at FinCon that sold a bunch of ebooks, right?
I don't know.
He's
What are we doing?
gluten-free.
Oh,
He's got celiac,
Mike?
doesn't he? Yeah.
yeah. So
Would he be a good resource for that?
Yeah, some of them are ebook, Kindle books. A lot of them are Kindle books. So I have a friend named Mike Piper. I mean, I haven't talked to him in years. It's been a long time, but he's a big Amazon author, and he writes about all kinds of accounting and financial kind of nerdy topics. And he's got, I don't know, last I checked, like 6 or 8 books on Amazon. And I think he has Kindle and paperback versions of them. But a lot of what he does is he'll write a blog post. At the end of every blog post, it'll be like, this is an excerpt from this book. Go over here to buy it. So that's one thing you could do. If it's a nonfiction kind of ebook and you're trying to sell it, like you could use your blog and just pull out sections of that book, make them as blog posts, and then promote the book at the end of it, drive people who are interested to it. So that's one thing you could do. I mean, there's a whole lot of ideas. I just don't have any great ones that I've actually done. So it seems like this requires patience and persistence, learning how to list and what platform is best for you to do. Maybe, but this isn't rocket science. Like, this is stuff that one weekend of doing this, like, you're going to learn a whole lot, and there's not much downside. And so I don't know. Maybe some patience and persistence, but I really wouldn't even define it like that. Like, what I would do is just take a Saturday, round up 15, 20 things from around your house that you think might sell and that you want to get rid of anyway, and just take pictures and throw them up. Like, and if you batch the process and just have everything piled up in one room, just go through and take pictures. Like, you can do this and get everything listed in an hour or two. And then you have everything up there and you see what happens. And there's just not much. You might spend a couple hours on this, and worst case, nothing sells. But, if you use that list I sent, the PDF, that's just going to give you a great starting point. And yeah, I would just be surprised if you listed 15, 20 things and nothing sells. And you could sell all of it, and you could make $2,000 like we did, So So yeah, I think it's definitely worth the effort.
Okay, which one of us spends the most money?
Are you pointing at me? Really? Okay.
You just buy bigger items.
Here's the thing. It's different. So we have in our budget, we each have spending money, which is a budgeting tip that we highly recommend. It's really good for the marriage that we both have our own money that is mine, is hers, and we don't care how each other one spends it. And I often don't spend my spending money for the month. Every single month, she spends all of her spending money and sometimes more. So in terms of that, she spends a lot of money.
No, I will do that every month, but then you will buy one like big item.
I'll buy a big thing, and then I'm
then
also
he'll drain
buying
his account.
And I'm also buying a lot of things for the family.
Yeah.
Right. So
And
like a
that's
lot
why
of
I
the
think you
general
spend
family
more.
things I'm buying. I'm
So
the one making that decision.
It's not like we're not in agreement on that. You typically.
Typically.
Plus, since he's more of the like daily manager of the money, like there's sometimes he'll make a bigger purchase and I'll be like, "Where's that money coming from?" And he's like, "Oh, it came from da 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 da," and he figures that out. So, but we're usually we're in agreement usually, right?
Yeah, I think so. Except for when you overspend your spending money.
It doesn't really happen anymore with the
No,
real money
really
budgeting
good.
course.
You've been doing really good. So yeah, anybody who wants their budgeting course, it is 30% off right now. Go get it. Join us in there. All right. Any experience with Mercari? No, I still haven't had any experience with that. I don't know what it is. I haven't used it. But I've heard a lot of people talk about it. 3 of you have mentioned it tonight. So
yeah,
maybe I'll check it out.
If anybody does have experience, let us know.
All right. Which is the criteria eBay considers to...
You need to talk in this mic, Ken.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hold up here. I can't read that word. Putly? I don't know what that word is. First on the list when you search for an item. To put first on the list? Okay, what is the criteria eBay considers to... Okay, I think what you're asking is how do you get to the top of the list when somebody's searching for this? It depends. I think a lot of times the eBay search results default to what items are ending next. So, if you're selling your iPhone and the auction ends in 2 minutes, oftentimes this is going to show up at the top of the list. The other thing is the keywords that you use. So if you're selling an iPhone and you list this as a blue t-shirt, like it's not going to show up when somebody's searching for an iPhone. So you have to make sure that you're using the right words, the right product name and stuff like that. Otherwise, that's really going to hurt you. But yeah, it's I think a pretty simple algorithm that is just based on the relevance in general. But I think it defaults to which one is ending soonest because that's what a lot of buyers are interested in. All right. Any experience? Saw that one already. Okay. I didn't like selling stuff on Amazon. People are far more picky, far more returns, and you have to accept returns. Plus, people will want to order from Alaska and Hawaii, so there's no extra shipping allowance. All right. Well, that seals the deal for me. I'll stick with eBay. Amazon costs about 15% compared to 13% on eBay. I sell on both platforms full time. All right. So Anne is the true expert here. She's doing both on full time. So yeah, Anne, if you have anything else you want to add to all this, please let us know.
Seriously.
Porcupine, I'm an affiliate marketer. It doesn't pay near as much, but I don't have to deal with any of that. Okay, awesome, Anne. It's much more difficult to sell on Amazon now compared to several years ago. Okay, great.
Thank you, Anne.
This is so helpful. I've had some things I've wanted to sell, and now I see how to do it amazingly and for free. Thanks for this. You are welcome, Alyssa. Okay. Ebook. I think she'd have success selling them on her blog if she has one. Great. I would agree. eBay is so easy, even for beginners. Great. Love hearing that. Do you recommend posting items on eBay for 3 days, 7 days? Any thoughts on that?
You always used to have me do it for 10 days, started on a Thursday and ended on a Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, there were points where I'd dug into some of the...
Although now it doesn't matter because everybody's home all the time. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, there was a while where I dug into some of the statistics of when people were most likely to be home for when an auction ended and thought through that and the timing of all that a little bit. But that's stuff that might get you, and Anne, you can correct me if I'm wrong, might get you a little bit of a higher price. But in general, for amateurs who are just kind of doing this on the side, like I don't think that's that big of a deal. And so as far as it being 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, like, yeah, if it was an iPhone, I would list this for 3 days or even 1 day because it's going to sell and it's going to sell quick. But if it's something where it's just not quite as popular, which is, I mean, a lot of things in eBay, like nothing compares to selling iPhones. Then yeah, I might do a longer auction, 7 or 10 days, just to have more time to get more buyers to see it and to bid on it. And the other thing here, I'll just throw this out for people who aren't aware. So on eBay, you can list it as an auction. And so what's good about that is if I put this iPhone out there and list it for 1 penny, it's going to get a whole bunch of people bidding, whatever, $1 and $5 and $10 for it. And those people are probably never going to get it, but they're going to get notifications that somebody else outbid them. It just gets a lot of people thinking about my specific phone versus if I start it at an asking price of $200, like all those people will not bid on it at all and they won't be alerted about what's going on with the phone or anything like that. So there's an advantage to listing as an auction if you know that there's plenty of demand for the item. And again, by searching in the advanced and the completed listings, you can start to get a feel for that. But if you have an item where it's like, I will sell this, like say whatever, my MacBook, okay? I don't want to sell this for $3 on eBay, okay? But I could list this not as an auction, but as a buy it now, and which is just basically saying this is a flat price. If you want to pay me $250 for this, I will sell this for you. If you don't, I'm keeping it. And so you can do that on eBay, and a lot of people do. And you can just have it sit out there until somebody comes around. It's like, I want that. I'm going to pay $250 for it. And so it might take 3 weeks, but you sold it for exactly what you want. So anyway. All right, 5 more minutes, and we're going to roll. But let's try to answer a few more questions here. Any tips to minimize shipping fees? What lessons have you learned? Yeah, I typically just do the standard USPS shipping on eBay. I think it's like first class, I forget what it's called. Priority mail, first class, something. I get all their shipping things confused. But when I do that, I can put it in the mailbox, which is great. I don't have to go to the post office. Just literally print off the thing on just a regular piece of paper. I tape it to the box, an Amazon box I have laying around, and then I throw it in the mailbox. Or I will set on the front porch, and you can do USPS. They will do a free pickup. You just have to give them like a day heads up, and then your mailman or mailwoman will come pick it up off your porch. So, and that's all free. So that's great.
Yeah, I had a friend who was selling. I have a friend who's selling some stuff on Etsy, and she thought that she had to get like a professional label maker, and I think she said it was like $250 or something like that. So she was like, I'm gonna save up to buy this label maker, and I'm like, that's a lot of money.
It's a brand new business.
A brand new business, yeah, for a brand new business. And he was like, she doesn't tell her she doesn't have to do that. She can just print it off like on a regular printer.
And handwrite it. It doesn't matter.
She
it's
can
like
handwrite it.
Handwrite the thing.
So that's a really good tip, just in case anybody doesn't know that already.
Yeah. All right. After you sell your items on eBay, how long does it take you to get your payment? Well, that depends on the buyer. 99% of buyers on eBay use PayPal. So this is just the industry standard. Everybody on eBay uses PayPal. It's going to be difficult if you don't use PayPal. So definitely get a PayPal account. Use it. It's free. And most times, I would say 90% of the times when I sell something on eBay, I get payment via PayPal within 24 hours. So it's going to depend on the buyer. Like they might be out of town, might not get the notification or something, and then you need to send them another one. But of all the items I've ever sold, I can't think maybe one time somebody didn't pay, and then eBay refunded the seller fees, and I just relisted it. Just wasn't that big a deal. All right. Do you worry about personal information being on your cell phone when you sell it? Yeah. So whenever you sell a cell phone, this is a good tip. You want to make sure that you wipe it and get it like factory reset back to the beginning. So not only is that helpful for you, but it's also helpful for the buyer because, if you send an iPhone that is linked to your what is it, Apple ID or whatever, like it's going to be really difficult. You're going to have to jump through hoops. So whenever you sell a cell phone, make sure you factory reset the thing back to the beginning. Slightly different topic. Are you guys into cryptocurrency at all? So I own a little bit. Yeah, I have 3 or 4 different cryptocurrencies that I have bought. pretty new to this. I'm not doing it as an investment, but more as a hedge. I think this is somewhere that there's no doubt in my mind that blockchain kind of technology is the future and we're going there. But I do think that most cryptocurrencies are going to fail and be worthless. But some of them are not, and some of them might be around. So, it's a very risky investment, I would say. So we don't have a whole lot of money in it, but Anyway, Adrian says I've sold quite a lot on Mercari, which is great.
Also, hi, Sarah. I see you. And you're welcome.
Yeah, so Porcupine says, Sheila, you can just reset to factory. And this is probably what I already said, but yeah. All right, do you ever buy stuff at a garage sale and then resell it on eBay? Is that legal? Yes, it's legal. And my friend, like I was telling you about, who paid off $80,000 of debt doing this. That's pretty much what it was from, buying on at garage sales. I mean, yeah, as long as you're not stealing it from the garage sale, it's like completely legal to go there and, pay $5 for this glass and then sell it for 10. Do you have to weigh the items that you sell? So when you're shipping, you do need a scale if you're going to do this from your computer. And so, like, literally, I can maybe find a link or something, but I found a scale. Like, you can get a little like scale. Food scale, depending on what you're going to be selling, a little scale that can weigh up to 3 or 5 pounds, and like $10 on Amazon or something like that. And so I just bought one of those, and that works great. But the other thing here, in terms of shipping, this is another thing. Once you go through the eBay process, and all of this is in that other tutorial I have, so check that one out if you're really wanting to go in eBay and need some more help with all this. And again, it's on YouTube. Just search for SeedTime and eBay, and you'll find it. And a lot of times when you're listing on eBay, you can see what everybody else is charging for shipping. And on top of that, like eBay makes a lot of suggestions here on how to list it, and they will adjust the shipping rate based on where your buyer lives. And so that way your buyer's purchase price, or what they're paying you for shipping, is going to adjust based on where they are. So you're not going to get stuck, listing $10 shipping, and then you have somebody in Alaska and it's going to cost you $30 to ship. That's the way it used to be, at least for me. And I would get myself in trouble with that multiple times. But now if you use the standard eBay method, that doesn't happen, shouldn't happen. Familiar with Venmo or that Cash App? Yes, I am. So like I've used Venmo if I'm buying something on Facebook Marketplace. Like I think we've done Venmo for that, or Cash. I think that's generally the best. How about used old cameras? How to wipe pics? I mean, this should just be on a memory card. I'm not sure what kind of camera we're talking about here, but generally speaking, I think you should just be able to pull the memory card and be fine. But anyway.
All right.
That's
it.
Anything over there?
We're good.
Great. All right. We will see you guys back tomorrow night. Like we said, if you haven't seen this already, every single night in April, we are going to be going live on YouTube and on Instagram, and we'd love to hang out with you and answer more questions. So we're going to be talking about ways to save more money, reduce expenses, ways to make some cash like this, ways to manage your money wisely, and just
some encouragement.
Everything. Yeah, we're going to be dumping a lot of stuff this month. So thank you so much for joining us, coming out and hanging out. And and get out there and sell something. Make yourself some money. I just want you to do this. Do it as an experiment, because it's easier than you think. I promise you, it's easier than you think. And I would love for you to put some extra money in your pocket. And when you do, send us a message. Take a picture on Instagram. Tag us. And let us know.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate with you, because it gets addicting, because it's really fun. It's really, really fun when you start doing this. Like, wow, I'm turning things I don't care about in my house into cash. It's a really fun thing to do. So anyway, that's all for now. Right. Be blessed, be blessing, and we'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.